everybody. Have you ever been in a situation that you couldn't get out of without getting help from someone else? Hi, my name is Kelly. I'm a pastor, police chaplain, marriage coach, and author of the book, Turn It Up, How to Have the Lifelong Marriage That You Really Want. And I was recently in a situation where I needed help. Okay, I'm going to tell you about that and how we can apply that to our marriages. What I would like to ask you first, though, is would you like to have a great marriage that lasts? I hope you say yes. If you're married or if you're single and dating and you're thinking about marriage, I hope your answer is yes. I want to have a great marriage and I want it to last. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, two things can happen. One is that you end up in a marriage that's not great, but it does last and you just kind of learn to, live with it. Or then you're in a marriage and then everything goes bad and it falls apart and it doesn't last. So, even though success isn't guaranteed in life or in marriage, I believe that there are some things that you can do to avoid having your marriage or relationship end painfully. So, let me tell you what happened to me just a few days ago. I signed up for a triathlon, and if you don't know what a triathlon is, basically it's a race, an endurance race that lasts several hours, and it consists of three things. It's a swim, it's a bike ride, and it's a run. So the distance that I had signed up for was called Olympic or Championship, and it consisted of a full kilometer swim. A kilometer is 1,100 yards. So what you could do is take 11 football fields and put them end to end. That's how far I was supposed to swim. In a lake too, by the way, not in a pool, in a lake. Not only that, it was 22 miles on the bike and then a 10K or about 6 miles after that of running or walking. So on race day, I felt good. I felt like I'd trained. I felt like I'd prepared. And but here's what happened. I got in the water and I started swimming. And after about 200 or 300 yards, I knew I was in trouble. I just couldn't catch my breath. I don't know if I started too fast. I don't know if I didn't train enough. But what happened is that after about a third of the way, I needed to stop. And so they have these lifeguards out there paddling around watching everybody swim, and they're on these kind of surfboard things. And so I swam over to one of those guys and I hung onto his board and kind of tried to catch my breath, in the water there. And then I started off again. And then after maybe about 50 or 100 yards, I had to stop again. So I did this maybe 2 or 3 times. And finally, the head lifeguard paddled over to me and he asked me this. He said, all right, I'm going to let you try one more time. And if you can't finish this, we're going to have to. And you know what? I didn't even let him finish his sentence because I knew, because I could see the rescue boat there on the lake, okay, watching everybody, making sure that if anybody had trouble, they could pull him out of the water. I knew what he was going to offer to me. And as much as I hated to admit it to myself, I realized I couldn't finish. I was in an oxygen deficit kind of situation where I just needed to catch my breath. And I suppose if I'd have hung on to the lifeguard's paddleboard long enough, I might have been able to do it. But then that's not really right because he's not going to stand there and babysit me for 15 minutes while everybody else is swimming. What if somebody else gets in trouble? So I realized that I had to face the reality of my situation and step out of the denial that I was in, that I was okay. And so I said, you're right. I need to get out of this. I can't do this. I can't finish this swim. So he called over the boat. I climbed in, and a few minutes later, they took me to shore. And so then I got out of my wetsuit. I climbed on my bike. I did that, and then I did the 10K after that. And so anyways, while I was on the bike, I kept asking myself, God, or praying, I should say, not just asking myself, but praying and saying, God, what is the lesson that I need to learn from this? And is there something here that I can learn and then help someone else with? So, a couple of thoughts. One is that I needed to be better prepared because I don't think I took the swim seriously enough. I've done a couple of these triathlons at this distance before. I've done two of them, and it wasn't a problem. So, I think I kind of got into this one a little overconfident. Secondly, is that I didn't pace myself. I started too fast. And once you kind of get behind the eight ball in terms of swimming, you have to stop and basically recover, and then you can start again. But that would have taken way too long. So I was in a difficult, challenging situation. And what did I need to do? I needed help. I needed to be rescued. Okay. I needed to admit to myself that I couldn't do it. So, what is the lesson in this? Is that we all need lifeguards in our lives, and we need lifeguards in our marriages, because there are some things in life that you cannot just solve on your own. When you're in denial, basically you don't face the reality of your situation, and things usually get worse. When we're denial in our marriage, what if your marriage is in trouble? We say things like this: we're okay. We can get through this. Things are not that bad. This will get better. Maybe all we need is a vacation. We can figure this out. We can make it work. All we have to do is try harder. Well, there in the water that day, I realized that trying harder wasn't going to cut it. I could try harder. I wasn't going to be able to succeed. Commitment wasn't going to do it for me. Self-effort wasn't going to do it. And definitely not just working at it harder, okay? I needed help. I needed to start over. I needed to change the way I was doing things. So a lifeguard came, and his comment to me, one more try, that's it, really caused me to face the reality that I couldn't finish what I was doing, and instead I needed to be rescued. So, is your marriage struggling, and are you in denial about it? Maybe there's another area of your life that you're in denial of. Maybe it's an addiction. Maybe you're struggling with pornography or alcohol. Maybe it's a work problem or a challenge with one of your kids. If you're in denial, basically you're pretending that things are going to get better. But unless something changes, unless you get help, chances are it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. But let's talk about your marriage for a moment. Do you need help in your marriage? Is your marriage struggling, and are you in denial about it? Do you need a lifeguard, just like I did, to help you face the reality? You see, there's a saying in the recovery movement of the 12 steps that goes like this: we don't change until the acid of our pain eats through the wall of our denial. Well, in a lot of things in life, that, you hit bottom, and then you start making the changes, and you can, turn some things around and start over. In a marriage, though, it kind of doesn't work that way. Why? Because chances are, while you're trying to figure out what to do with your life and how to get out of this problem that you're facing, it could be that it's too late. Because then your spouse just checks out and says, you know what, I'm done. I want out. This is never going to get any better. You're never going to change. And I'm gone. And so then they leave you, and then eventually file for divorce, and your marriage ends painfully. So before that happens, though, we need someone to give us a reality check and to guide us to make the changes that are necessary before things get beyond repair. So you need a lifeguard or someone that's going to help you face the reality of your situation, guide you to make the adjustments that are needed, help you learn new skills, support and encourage you as you use those skills, and then celebrate with you when you win, when there are victories. Every marriage needs this. That's the title of this program, recording, I should say. Every marriage needs this. What do we need? We need a lifeguard, or someone who will help you face the reality of your situation. Now, this can be the person you're married to, your husband or your wife, if he or she is bold enough to be honest and share with you how they really feel about things. I'll never forget the time that my wife had a conversation with me and said she wasn't happy, that she needed something different, that she wanted some things to change in our marriage. And I took that to heart. I responded and I changed and I started doing what she was asking me to do. Why? Because I valued my marriage and I wanted to see it succeed. Well, I'm thankful that she was bold enough to be the lifeguard that day and to tell me how things were going and to help me face the reality. Um, It could also be a trusted friend or mentor who will tell you the truth. Hey, buddy, you need to look at this because this may not work out if you don't change, if you don't get some help. Or then, more commonly, and perhaps the easiest to do, is to find a professional who is going to give you the input that you need, someone who is an expert in helping marriages. And that could be a therapist or a coach like myself. So here's the question for you today. Are you treading water and getting tired in your marriage, just like I was in that lake the other day? Are you starting to sink? Are you wondering if you're going to make it? Are you in denial and pretending things are better than they really are? Do you need to face the reality of your situation and get help? Well, here's two things that you can do. The first thing is to reach out to God. He loves you. He cares about you. He cares about your marriage and he wants to see it succeed. And so what I would encourage you to do is to go to the Lord and say, God, please help me and help me get the help that I need. Asking God to help you is great, but then ask him to help you get the help that you need. Because here's a secret for you that maybe you don't realize. The way God helps us is through people. Think about it. Okay. The way, if you're asking and praying, God, help me find a job. And then all of a sudden your friend calls you up and says, hey, I know this place that's hiring. Guess what? God just used your friend, another person, to help you get that job. And so chance that there are some times that God works sovereignly and without the participation of other people. But I would say in my life, most of the answers to my prayers come because God uses another person to do that. So asking God to help you get the help you need, I think, is a great way to start. Psalm 46:1 says, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in times of trouble. So he is there for you and he wants to help you. And like I said, maybe the way he's going to do that is lead you to somebody else. So you're going to reach out to God. That's number one. Number two is then reach out to one of God's servants, somebody that God can use to help you turn things around. So that's my tip for today. Every marriage needs this. What does every marriage need? It needs a lifeguard, someone who's going to speak into your life and into your marriage and help you face the reality, someone that's going to help you step out of denial and into that place of receiving the help that you need. And I find this in a lot of situations, certainly in addictions, but there's even couples I've talked to and they're in denial. Oh, things are okay. It'll get better. We're all right. We can figure this out. Well, if you could, you would have by now. So chances are you need some help. So in the description that goes with this recording, I'm going to put my website and I'm going to put a link to my calendar. And I would like to invite you to make an appointment with me for an absolutely free call. And I promise you, this is not a high pressure sales call by any means, but I'm going to listen to your situation and I'm going to I'm going to try anyways to help you get the help you need. Maybe that's with me, but it might be with someone else. So perhaps I could refer you to some other resources or give you some other input about where you could go to get the help that you need. But let's face the reality of the challenges that we face in life. God doesn't want to see this thing continue. He wants to set you free. He wants to get you to that place of victory over it. Life is full of problems. Life is full of struggles. And we have the victory, though, through our Lord Jesus Christ. but it's usually through getting the help we need from somebody else. Anyways, that's it for today. God bless you guys. I hope this encouraged you. Remember, look for the lifeguards around you. Face the reality of your situation and let God help you by getting you the help that you need. That's it for today. I'm Kelly Dupay, author of this book, Turn It Up, How to Have the Lifelong Marriage That You Really Want. Also, a pastor and a police chaplain and a marriage coach. So let me know if I can help you. God bless. Bye-bye.